The galaxy had almost stopped believing in tomorrow. For many years, war had spread from one star system to another. One by one, powerful civilizations had fallen. Huge space fleets that once protected billions of lives had turned into broken metal floating in empty space. Great cities burned under dark skies. Space stations that had stood for thousands of years became silent. Every news signal carried the same message. Another world has fallen. Fear had become stronger than hope. No one believed the enemy could be stopped anymore. The enemy was known only as the Void Empire. No one knew where it had come from. No one knew who led it. Every time its giant black ships appeared, another civilization disappeared. No fleet had ever defeated them. No weapon had ever slowed them down across the galaxy. Leaders gathered for one final meeting. The largest council station was filled with fear. Representatives from hundreds of alien races looked at each other in complete silence. No one had a new plan. No one had any hope left. At the center of the room, the oldest leader slowly stood. His voice was weak. "We have lost everything," he said. "Our fleets are gone. Our strongest worlds have fallen. Our people are running out of places to hide." The room stayed silent. Nobody argued, because everyone knew he was telling the truth. One by one, every leader accepted defeat. Some closed their eyes. Some lowered their heads. Some quietly cried. For the first time in galactic history, every civilization agreed on the same thing. The war was over, and they had lost. Far away from the council station, deep inside empty space, one small ship moved quietly between the stars. It looked old, its paint was faded, its engines were slow. Compared to the giant alien battleships, it looked almost forgotten. But one symbol was still clear on its side. A blue planet with white clouds, Earth inside the ship. One man calmly watched the stars. He was Captain Adrian Hawley, the last known human captain. His face showed no fear. His hands rested quietly on the controls. He listened to the final message sent by the Galactic Council. "We surrender," the message repeated again and again and again. The captain turned the message off. The room became silent. He looked through the front window at the endless stars. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he quietly smiled. "They are giving up too early," he whispered. The ship's computer came to life. A calm voice filled the bridge. "Captain, every known fleet has been destroyed. Chance of survival is less than 1%. The captain nodded. "I know," the computer spoke again. "Mission recommendation, retreat." The captain shook his head. "No. If everyone runs, no one will be left to fight." The computer became silent. A few seconds later, another screen appeared. It showed hundreds of planets asking for help. Emergency signals covered the display. Children, families, entire civilizations, all waiting for someone who would never come. The captain looked at every signal. He could not save them all. But he refused to leave them behind. He entered new coordinates into the ship. The engines slowly became brighter. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed through the bridge. It was not an emergency alarm. It was not a normal signal. It was something much older. The computer quickly began scanning. Unknown transmission detected. Source unknown. The captain frowned. No civilization uses that frequency. The signal repeated. It was weak, broken, almost impossible to hear. Then words slowly appeared on the screen. "Human captain. If anyone still lives, follow this signal." The captain's eyes widened. It was written in an ancient human code. A code that had disappeared hundreds of years ago. The computer sounded confused. "No record of this transmission exists. Probability of trap 78%. The captain stared at the message. Someone, somewhere was calling for a human. Not for an alien fleet, not for the Galactic Council. Only for a human captain. He quietly stood from his chair. His decision came without hesitation. "Set course toward the signal." The computer answered immediately. "Warning. Destination is inside the Forbidden Zone. No ship has ever returned from that region. The captain smiled again. Then maybe they were looking in the wrong place. The old ship slowly turned. Its engines glowed brighter than before. Behind it, the last safe part of the galaxy disappeared. Ahead waited only darkness. Strange shadows moved between distant stars. Even the light seemed weaker there. The signal became stronger. Then every screen on the bridge suddenly flickered. The lights turned red, one by one. Every sensor stopped working. The navigation map vanished. The radar became empty. Even the stars outside seemed to disappear. The computer spoke one final warning. "Captain, we are no longer on any known map." Then complete silence filled the ship. And somewhere inside that endless darkness, something was waiting for him. The old human ship drifted through the endless darkness. No stars could be seen. No planets appeared on the screens. It felt as if the ship had left the galaxy behind. Captain Adrian Hale stood quietly on the bridge. His eyes stayed on the weak signal. It was now stronger than before. The ship's computer finally spoke. "Captain, all navigation systems have failed. We are moving. But I cannot measure our speed. We are surrounded by unknown energy." Adrian remained calm. "Keep following the signal." The ship continued forward. Minutes passed, then hours. The darkness suddenly began to change. Tiny lights appeared ahead. At first, they looked like stars, but they were too close. Too bright, too perfectly placed. As the ship moved closer, Adrian slowly realized the truth. They were not stars. They were lights from an enormous space station. The station was larger than a planet. Its silver walls stretched farther than the eye could see. Thousands of towers reached into space. Massive rings slowly turned around its center. Even after hundreds of years, the station still had power. The computer sounded shocked. "Unknown structure detected. No record exists in the galactic archives." Adrian looked at the giant station in silence. Then he noticed something that made his heart stop. A blue symbol was painted across the station. A blue planet with white clouds, the symbol of Earth. "This is human," he whispered. The station answered before he could do anything. A deep voice echoed across every speaker. "Human life confirmed. Identity scan in progress." A bright blue light passed across the ship. The computer became silent. Every system froze. For several long seconds, nothing happened. Then the voice returned. "Identity confirmed. Welcome home, Captain Adrian Hale." The giant station slowly opened. Huge metal gates moved apart. A bright path of lights appeared. The station was inviting him inside. The old ship carefully entered. As soon as it crossed the entrance, every system came back online. The lights inside the station were still shining. Gardens filled with green trees could be seen behind giant glass walls. Clean streets stretched across the station. Buildings stood exactly as if people had left only yesterday. Yet there was no sound, no people, no movement, only silence. The ship landed inside a massive hangar. Adrian stepped outside. His footsteps echoed across the empty floor. Everything around him looked untouched. Dust covered almost nothing. Machines still worked. Doors opened by themselves. The station had been waiting. As he walked deeper inside, large screens suddenly came to life. Old videos appeared. Human children laughing. Families eating together. Scientists building ships. Explorers leaving Earth. It was a world long gone. Adrian watched quietly. The computer suddenly detected another presence. "Captain, I am detecting one active intelligence. It is approaching." A soft blue light formed in the center of the room. Slowly it became the shape of a woman. She was not human. She was a hologram. Her face was calm. Her voice was gentle. "My name is Athena. I am the guardian intelligence of Human Archive Station 1. Adrian looked surprised. "You've been waiting all this time?" She nodded. "For 612 years. I was ordered to wait until a human captain returned. Adrian looked around the empty station. Where is everyone? Athena became silent for a moment. Then the answer came. They left. They did not lose the war. They did not become extinct. They chose to disappear. Adrian frowned. The entire galaxy believes humans were destroyed. Athena shook her head. That story was created by humanity itself. The humans wanted every civilization to believe they were gone. They erased their own history. They hid every station, every fleet, and every secret. Adrian could hardly believe it. But why? Athena's eyes became serious. Because humanity discovered something terrible. An enemy was coming. An enemy older than every civilization in the galaxy. The humans knew no one was ready. So they vanished. They began preparing in secret. She pointed toward a giant wall. The wall slowly opened. Behind it stood hundreds of advanced human warships. Each one looked far more powerful than anything in the modern galaxy. Their silver armor still shined. Their engines slowly glowed with blue light. Adrian stared in complete silence. The galaxy thought humanity had nothing left, he whispered. Athena answered. The galaxy never knew the truth. Suddenly every light inside the station turned red. Warning alarms echoed through every hallway. The calm voice changed. Emergency alert. Long-range sensors have detected movement beyond the station. Adrian looked at the main screen. A dark shape appeared in the distance. It was enormous. Much larger than any ship he had ever seen. Then another appeared, and another. The darkness itself seemed to be moving. Athena looked directly at Adrian. Her voice was no longer calm. They have found us, Adrian took. Red warning lights flashed across every hallway of the ancient human station. The peaceful silence disappeared. Emergency alarms echoed through the giant structure. Captain Adrian Hale stood in front of the main screen. His eyes stayed on the dark shapes moving through space. They did not look like normal ships. They looked alive. Their black armor slowly changed shape. Long shadows moved across their surface like dark smoke. Athena stood beside him. Her calm face now looked serious. They have arrived much earlier than expected, she said. Adrian looked at her. Who are they really? Athena touched the control panel. A giant map of the galaxy appeared. Then another map appeared behind it. This second map was much older. Many stars on it no longer existed. This map is over 1 million years old, Athena said. The first enemy was already destroying civilizations before most stars in today's galaxy were even born. Adrian looked carefully. They are older than every empire we know. Athena nodded. Yes, they do not build kingdoms. They do not make peace. They do not conquer worlds. They erase life itself. The room became silent. Athena continued. Every few 100,000 years. They return. They destroy every advanced civilization. Then they disappear again into deep space. Adrian crossed his arms. So the stories were true. Not stories, Athena replied. History. She opened another file. Old recordings appeared. Human scientists. Military leaders. Explorers. Every face looked worried. One old scientist spoke to the camera. If anyone is watching this, then we failed to stop them. The first enemy cannot be defeated by strength alone. They learn from every battle. Every weapon used against them becomes useless the next time. The recording ended. Adrian understood why humanity had disappeared. They had not been hiding. They had been preparing. Suddenly another alarm sounded. Athena looked toward the main screen. The enemy fleet has entered the outer defense zone, outside the station. Hundreds of ancient human defense satellites came to life. Blue lights covered the darkness. Massive cannons slowly turned toward the approaching enemy. For the first time in centuries, the station was ready for war. The black ships continued moving. They showed no fear, no hesitation. Athena gave the command. Fire! A wall of bright blue energy crossed space. Thousands of powerful beams struck the enemy fleet. The station shook from the force. Adrian watched carefully. The explosions filled the darkness. For a few seconds, nothing could be seen. Then the smoke cleared. Every black ship was still moving. Not one had been destroyed. Not one had slowed down. The computer spoke. Enemy damage. 0%. Even Athena looked surprised. Impossible, she whispered. The defense network destroyed entire fleets during the last war. Adrian looked closer. The enemy ships were changing. Their armor had become brighter. They adapted, he said. Athena nodded slowly. They learned from the attack in seconds. One enemy ship suddenly stopped. A bright red light appeared at its center. The station computer shouted. Incoming attack. A single beam crossed space. It touched one defense satellite. The satellite disappeared. There was no explosion, no fire. It simply vanished. As if it had never existed, within seconds. More red beams appeared. One by one, the ancient defense network disappeared. Hundreds of satellites. Gone. Thousands of human weapons. Gone. The enemy continued moving closer. Adrian remained calm. How much time do we have? Athena answered. Less than 1 hour before they reached the station. She quickly opened another hidden file. There is one possibility. A new image appeared. It showed a strange object floating near the center of the galaxy. A glowing crystal surrounded by rings of energy. What is that? Adrian asked. Athena answered. The heart beacon. It was created by humanity during the First War. It can awaken every hidden human fleet across the galaxy. Adrian looked hopeful. Then why hasn't anyone used it? Athena became quiet. Because activating it requires someone to reach it first. The enemy knows this. They guard every path leading there. No one has ever broken through their lines. Adrian smiled slightly. No one has tried with me. Athena looked at him. You understand this mission has almost no chance of success. He nodded. I do. If this station stays here, it will fall. If I leave now, maybe the galaxy still has a future. Athena remained silent for several seconds. Then she made her decision. She transferred every hidden human map into his ship. She unlocked the station's secret hangar. A brand new human warship slowly rose from below. Its silver armor reflected the station lights. Its engines glowed with bright blue energy. On its side was one named HFS Guardian. Athena handed Adrian a small metal key. This ship was built for the last human captain. It has been waiting for you for over 600 years. Adrian accepted the key, without another word. He walked toward the waiting ship, behind him. The enemy fleet continued closing in. Ahead of him, only one path remained, a mission no one had ever survived. As the HFS Guardian left the station, Athena watched from the control room. She whispered quietly, "Good luck, Captain." Far behind the new ship, the ancient human station fired every weapon it had, not to win, but to buy the last human captain a few more minutes, and deep inside the endless darkness, the first enemy turned, not toward the station, but toward Adrian's ship they already knew. The last human captain carried the only hope left in the galaxy. The HFS Guardian raced through deep space. Its blue engines left a bright trail behind it. Captain Adrian Hawley stood quietly on the bridge. The ancient human ship was faster than anything he had ever flown. Every system worked perfectly. The ship's computer suddenly spoke. "Warning! Enemy ships are following us." A red map appeared. 5 black enemy ships were closing in. They were fast, very fast. Adrian looked at the screen. "They are not chasing the station anymore. They are chasing me," the computer answered. "Correct, Captain. They believe you are the greatest threat." Adrian smiled. "Good. That means Athena still has time." He pulled the control stick. The Guardian turned sharply around a field of broken asteroids. Huge rocks crashed into each other. The enemy ships followed without slowing down. Adrian activated the ship's hidden defense system. Small blue drones shot out from both sides of the Guardian. The drones did not attack. Instead, they created hundreds of false signals. Suddenly, the enemy ships split apart. Each one chased a different fake target. Only one continued following the real Guardian. Adrian pressed one button. A bright blue pulse exploded behind his ship. The last enemy vessel lost power for a few seconds. That was enough. The Guardian disappeared into hyperspace. Far away from the chase, the ship arrived near a dying star. Around it floated dozens of damaged alien ships. Some had no engines, some had broken weapons. Thousands of survivors were living inside them. They were the last members of many different civilizations. Everyone had nowhere else to go. As soon as the Guardian appeared, every weapon turned toward it. One message came through the radio: unknown human ship. "Identify yourself," Adrian answered calmly. "My name is Captain Adrian Hawley. I came to help." The radio became silent. Then loud voices filled every channel. "Human? Impossible. Humans disappeared centuries ago. This must be a trick." One large alien cruiser slowly moved forward. Its commander appeared on the main screen. He was old. His face carried many battle scars. "I am Commander Rethan," he said. "We have heard human stories before. They are only legends," Adrian nodded. "I know, but legends are sometimes true." Rethan looked at him carefully. "If you truly came to help, where is your fleet?" Adrian answered honestly, "I don't have one." The room behind Rethan became noisy. Several officers laughed. "One ship? One human? You expect to save the galaxy with one ship?" Adrian stayed calm. "No, I expect to save it with all of us together." The laughter stopped. Rethan crossed his arms. "We already tried that. Our alliance failed. Our fleets were destroyed. Our people lost hope." Adrian looked directly at him. "You lost because every civilization fought alone. You protected your own worlds first. The enemy wanted that. They divided you before they attacked you." Silence filled the bridge. No one answered, because everyone knew he was right at that moment. Warning alarms suddenly echoed across every damaged ship. Another enemy fleet had arrived. This time there were 20 black warships. The survivors panicked. "We cannot fight. Our weapons barely work. We have no shields left." Many ships started preparing to run. Adrian quickly opened a communication channel. "Nobody moves. You don't need stronger weapons. You need one plan." Without waiting for permission, he sent battle orders to every ship. Some captains looked confused, some ignored them. But Commander Rethan trusted him. He gave one simple order: "Follow the human captain." The battle began. The enemy ships moved into attack formation instead of meeting them head-on. Adrian led every damaged ship between the dying star and a giant field of space rocks. The enemy followed exactly as Adrian expected. The Guardian suddenly fired several energy missiles. Not at the enemy, but at the star. A small part of its outer surface exploded. A wave of burning plasma rushed into space. The enemy ships flew directly into it. Half of their sensors failed. Their formation broke apart. "Now!" Adrian shouted. Every alien ship fired at the same moment. For the first time in many years, the enemy made mistakes. 3 black ships exploded. 2 more crashed into each other. The remaining enemy vessels retreated. The battle was over. Complete silence. The giant black fortress moved slowly through deep space. It was so large that it blocked the light of nearby stars. Thousands of smaller black warships flew around it like guards. Every captain in the new alliance looked at the screen in silence. No one had ever seen anything so massive. Commander Rethan took a deep breath. "How can we fight that?" No one answered. Captain Adrian Hawley stood quietly on the bridge of the HFS Guardian. His face remained calm. Fear would not save the galaxy. Only a good plan would. Athena's voice came through the communication system. "Captain, I have finished scanning the fortress. It has one central power core. It controls every enemy ship nearby. If the core is destroyed, their fleet will lose coordination. Rethan looked surprised. Then why didn't the old humans destroy it before? Athena became silent for a moment. Because no ship ever reached the core. The fortress destroys every attacker long before they get close. Adrian looked carefully at the fortress. Its shields covered millions of kilometers. Thousands of heavy weapons slowly turned toward the Alliance fleet. Then the first attack came. Hundreds of red beams crossed space. Several Alliance ships exploded before anyone could react. The battle had begun. Panic spread through the fleet. Some captains wanted to retreat. Others fired wildly without aiming. Adrian opened every communication channel. Listen to me. If everyone fights alone again, we lose today. Stay in formation. Trust the plan. His calm voice spread across hundreds of ships. Slowly, the fleet became organized. Human strategy replaced fear. Adrian divided the Alliance into 3 groups. The first group would protect the weaker ships. The second group would attack the enemy from both sides. The third group would stay hidden behind a field of broken moons. Waiting, the enemy believed they had already seen the entire Alliance. But Adrian had hidden nearly 100 ships. The battle grew larger. Blue and red lights filled the darkness. Explosions echoed across space. Broken ships floated everywhere. Commander Rethan led the left side. A young commander named Lyra led the right. Adrian stayed in the center. The enemy focused every heavy weapon on the Guardian. They want the human captain, Athena warned. Adrian smiled. Exactly what I wanted. The Guardian flew straight toward the fortress. Enemy ships rushed after it. 100, then 200, then even more. Every enemy captain ignored the rest of the Alliance. They wanted only Adrian, now. Adrian ordered. The hidden third group suddenly appeared. They attacked the enemy fleet from behind. The black ships were trapped for the first time. The first enemy lost its perfect formation. Commander Lyra laughed with excitement. They're confused. Rethan smiled. They've never faced human strategy before. The Alliance pushed forward. More enemy ships exploded. Hope returned across the battlefield. Then the fortress changed. Its outer walls slowly opened. A giant circular weapon appeared. Athena's voice became urgent. Captain, that weapon can destroy an entire fleet with one shot. A bright black light began gathering inside the weapon. The energy grew stronger every second. If it fires, everything ends, Rethan shouted. Adrian looked at the charging weapon. He had only seconds. Then he noticed something. The giant weapon could not move while charging. It was locked in one direction. An idea came to him. He quickly gave new orders. Every ship changed course immediately. The Alliance fleet turned at once. The fortress continued charging. Its weapon remained pointed toward empty space. A second later, the massive beam fired. A wall of black energy crossed the stars. But the Alliance was no longer there. Instead, the beam struck hundreds of enemy ships that were still chasing the Guardian. The fortress destroyed its own fleet. Silence filled every communication channel. Even the enemy seemed confused. Commander Rethan stared at the screen. They just destroyed their own ships, Adrian nodded. They believed we would never change direction. The Alliance attacked again. Now the fortress had fewer defenders. The path toward its center slowly opened. Athena quickly highlighted a small glowing section on the fortress. The power core is behind that wall. It is now within reach. Adrian gripped the controls. This is our chance, the Guardian accelerated. Enemy fighters rushed toward him from every side. The ship shook under heavy fire. Warning alarms echoed across the bridge. Shields at 40%, 32%, 21%. Smoke filled parts of the bridge. Small explosions damaged several control panels. But Adrian never slowed down. The glowing entrance to the fortress grew larger. Victory was only moments away, then, without warning, Every enemy ship suddenly stopped moving. Every weapon went silent. The battlefield became completely still. Athena looked confused. This has never happened before. A deep voice echoed across every communication system in the galaxy. It was calm, cold, and ancient. Human captain, for 1,000,000 years, I have waited for your kind to return. The black fortress slowly opened. A single enormous doorway appeared. Inside it was only darkness. The voice spoke again. Come inside alone. I wish to meet the last human. The battlefield became completely silent. Not a single weapon fired. The giant black fortress floated in the darkness. Its massive doorway remained open. Every ship in the Alliance waited. No one understood why the enemy had suddenly stopped fighting. The ancient voice echoed once again across every communication channel. Human captain, come alone. The fate of the galaxy will be decided here, inside the HFS Guardian. Commander Rethan looked at Adrian through the communication screen. It is a trap. Do not go, Commander Lyra agreed. If you enter that fortress, you will never return. Athena also spoke. My calculations show only a 2% chance of survival. Adrian listened quietly. Then he smiled. When I started this journey, everyone said there was no hope. If I turn back now, nothing changes. If I go forward, the galaxy still has a chance. No one argued again. Deep inside, they all knew he had already made his decision. Adrian placed the Guardian on automatic control. The ship slowly moved toward the open doorway behind him. Thousands of Alliance ships watched in complete silence as the Guardian entered the fortress. The giant door closed behind it. Darkness surrounded the ship. Then hundreds of blue lights slowly turned on. A huge chamber appeared. It was larger than many cities. At its center stood a single black platform. On the platform waited one figure. It looked almost human, tall, calm, wearing dark armor that seemed older than time itself. Its glowing silver eyes looked directly at Adrian. The ship landed. Adrian stepped outside. Neither of them spoke for several seconds. Finally, the stranger broke the silence. I am called Ethor. I am the first commander. I led the first enemy before your son was born. Adrian looked at him without fear. If you wanted to destroy us, why stop the battle? Ethor slowly walked forward. Because I wanted to see the last human. Your people were different from every civilization we destroyed. You learned faster. You united strangers. You never stopped fighting. For the first time in 1,000,000 years. You made us change our plans. Adrian frowned. If you respected humans, then why hunt us? Ethor looked toward the distant stars. We do not hate life. We protect balance. When civilizations become too powerful, they destroy the galaxy themselves. So we erase them before they can erase everything else. Adrian shook his head. You call that balance. I call it fear. You never gave anyone the chance to become better. Ethor remained silent. Then he raised one hand. The floor beneath them became transparent. Adrian could see the entire galaxy below. Thousands of burning worlds, broken fleets. Billions of frightened people. This is the future, Ethor said. It repeats every age. It cannot be changed. Adrian looked at the stars, then quietly answered. No, it already changed. Ethor looked back at him. What changed? Adrian smiled. The galaxy stopped fighting alone. For the first time, enemies became friends. They chose hope instead of fear. You never expected that. For the first time. Ethor said nothing. Then a small machine rose from the floor. Inside it was a glowing blue crystal. Athena's voice suddenly came through Adrian's communicator. Captain, that is the heart beacon, the device that can awaken every hidden human fleet. Ethor nodded. Yes, it has waited for the last human. You now have two choices. He pointed toward the crystal. If you activate it, millions of hidden human warships will return. Humanity will rule the galaxy once again. Then he pointed toward another glowing control. If you destroy the heart beacon instead, the hidden fleets will sleep forever. But the energy released will destroy this fortress, and every enemy ship connected to it. Adrian stood completely still, his breathing slowed for years. He had believed he was the last human. Now he knew millions of humans were still waiting, sleeping safely in hidden places. He could bring them home. He could rebuild Earth. He could give humanity the future it had lost. But another truth stood before him. If he chose humanity, the first enemy would continue the war. Billions across the galaxy would die. Commander Rethan, Lyra, Athena. Every civilization that had trusted him would lose everything. Adrian closed his eyes. He remembered the emergency signals, the frightened children, the burning worlds, the people who believed in him. Then he opened his eyes. His decision was made. He looked at the light from the great explosion spread across the galaxy. For a few moments, every star seemed brighter. Then the light slowly faded. The giant black fortress was gone. Nothing remained except small pieces of metal drifting through space. Every ship of the first enemy stopped moving. Their engines became silent. Their weapons lost power, one by one. The dark ships broke apart. Without their fortress, they could no longer fight. A loud cheer filled every Alliance ship. Commander Rethan looked through the bridge window. His tired eyes filled with tears. "We did it," he whispered. Commander Lyra smiled for the first time in many years. The war is over. Across the galaxy, emergency stations received the same message. The first enemy has fallen. People stepped outside their shelters. Families looked toward the night sky. Children who had never seen peace smiled with hope. The long war had finally ended. But one question remained. Where was Captain Adrian Hawley? The Alliance searched for weeks, then for months. Thousands of ships scanned every part of the battlefield. They found broken enemy ships, destroyed weapons, even pieces of the Black Fortress. But they never found the HFS Guardian. Many believed Adrian had given his life to save everyone. Commander Rethan refused to give up. He survived every impossible mission before. "I will keep searching." Athena also survived. Just before the fortress exploded, she had copied herself into the Alliance's main computer network. She helped rebuild the galaxy. She shared human knowledge with every civilization. Not weapons, but science, medicine, farming, clean energy, and peaceful technology. For the first time, the civilizations of the galaxy worked together. Old enemies became trusted friends. Borders slowly disappeared. Trade returned. Schools reopened. New space stations were built. The galaxy was no longer divided. It had become one family. Years passed. The story of the last human captain spread farther than any spaceship. Every child learned his name, not because he was the strongest, not because he had the biggest fleet, but because he chose everyone over himself on one peaceful planet. A young boy looked at a statue of Adrian Hawley. The statue showed the captain standing beside the HFS Guardian. One hand rested on the ship, the other pointed toward the stars. The boy asked his teacher, was he really the last human? The teacher smiled, maybe. Or maybe he was simply the first person who reminded the galaxy what courage looks like. The children quietly looked at the statue. Flowers from many different alien worlds covered its base. Each flower came from a civilization Adrian had saved. Near the statue, words were written in every known language. One captain, one choice, one united galaxy. Far away. Beyond the known stars, beyond every trade route. A small object drifted silently through deep space. It was badly damaged. Its engines were cold. Its lights were dark for many years. It floated without moving. Then one day, a tiny blue light appeared. The old engines slowly came back to life inside the ship. Emergency systems restarted one by one. A weak computer voice echoed through the empty bridge. Power restored. 5%. Life support. Active. Medical chamber. Opening. A long metal capsule slowly unlocked. White mist filled the room. A hand reached out, then another. Captain Adrian Hawley slowly opened his eyes. He looked around the damaged ship. Everything was quiet. The bridge was broken. Most systems no longer worked. He smiled softly. "I guess I'm still alive," the computer answered. "Captain, you have been unconscious for 11 years. Adrian looked through the cracked front window. The stars looked different. Entire constellations had changed. He quietly stood. His body was weak, but his spirit remained strong. He looked at the endless galaxy before him. I wonder, did they keep their promise? At that same moment, far across the galaxy, Athena suddenly stopped speaking during a council meeting. A small signal appeared on her screen. It was old, very old. A signal that only human ships could send. Her eyes became wide. She checked it again, then smiled. "It cannot be." Commander Rethan looked at her. "What happened?" Athena turned the screen toward him. Only 4 simple words were written in ancient human code. "Captain Hawley requesting navigation." For a moment, no one in the room spoke. Then Rethan laughed louder than anyone had heard in years. "I knew it. He never gives up." Across the United Galaxy, a new message was sent to every world. Not a warning, not a call for war, but a message of hope. The hero has returned, and somewhere among the endless stars. The last human captain gently guided the HFS Guardian toward home, knowing that this time, he was no longer fighting to save the galaxy. He was finally flying through a galaxy that had learned how to save itself.